good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly, that's right, Weekly Net. I'm Roland KC6JPG, located here, Rancho Cucamonga, California, United States of America, and the state of California, North America, planet Earth, and the planet Orion on Orion's belt. You got it. Thank you, Orion. The Amateur Television Network is a series of repeaters making it possible for you, our amateur television and YouTube superstars out there, to make video communications with one another within our network coverage area. You can watch us on YouTube on youtube.com/amateur television network. And if you miss our live feed, then no problem. You can watch our videos that are being archived ever since this year. And we got lots of them, including SBMS, yes, and including some of the Arizona ones, too. Love sharing it. You got it. Hey, are you an amateur radio operator and love to participate in amateur television but don't have any RF equipment? Well, have no fear. Just join us on our Whereby channel, whereby.com/ATN1. And, of course, we have a fantastic group of people out here tonight. And I'll tell you, we got a pretty almost a full house here. The stage is pretty much set. There we go. There is our wonderful Whereby group. There you go. Wave, everybody. You looking great. For more information about the Amateur Television Network, you can always go to our website, www.atn-tv.com. And we'd love to hear from you, always. All right, DMR Radio, 3196 on the Brandmeister Network, 224 on TGIF. That's our backup tactical channel for the Amateur Television Network. This portion of this net is a directed net. Transmissions may be made after acknowledgement by net control, and a clear frequency is always appreciated. Bulletins, general announcements that will follow after a brief pause for any priority traffic. I'm Roland, KC6JPG, your net control tonight. All right, not hearing a priority traffic at this time, and we're going to go to bulletins and announcements, and that we're going to take it over to Tom, WB6HYH, the president of the Amateur Television Network of the Southern California and Nevada chapter. Tom, good evening, my friend. It's great to see you tonight.
Hi, Roland. This is Tom, WB6HYH. Before I get too far, is my audio sounding okay?
Yes, sir. Audio sounds perfect. Sounds great, my friend. Back to you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks to Norm last week. He told me I've been kind of pushing it lately, and I know I have. So if this sounds good, that's great for me. As far as the bulletins announcements, I haven't really thought about it too much. I just got back, got my McDonald's McFrappe, really good. And let's see, got back grocery shopping just now. So, bulletins, announcements. Can't think of anything right at the moment. Kind of same as usual. Nothing too exciting, but I hope to change that real soon here. So we'll see. We're going to start making some plans. Kind of got things kind of under control around the house here, so get back to doing my job with ATN as president. I'm glad to be president. I like being president, but I want to make some progress in being president. So anyways, I'll turn it back to you, Roland, and if I think of anything when you're making the rounds with everybody, I'll bring it up then. So back to you, WV6HYH, Rancho Cucamonga.
WB6HYH, KC6JPG. Well, you know what? Your presence is definitely making progress because you know what? We're still on the air. We're still doing nets every Tuesday night. We're participating with Arizona on Sundays. And, of course, not only that, we're participating in other nets, too, like Jim's Net over on Mount Diablo on Thursdays. We're always having a lot of fun. Just, like I said, spreading the ATV, quote, wealth. You got it. showing the exotic mode of amateur television as we're live on YouTube, and of course we're being recorded. We're recording and putting all of our recordings on YouTube as well. We're on Arden, and yes, we'll definitely talk about Arden. Not a problem. And of course, we're back on BATC as well. We've been, so far, for the last, week and a half, we've been on BATC continuously. So that's one great thing. So, Tom, thank you so much for coming in and chiming in regards to bulletins and announcements on the president's side of things. Okay, we're going to go to the technical side of things, and that's where Mike is at. WA6SVT up in Mount Wilson. Mike, it's great to see you tonight, my friend. How's everything going tonight?
Hello, everybody. WA6SVT. Doing pretty good. Gary was over Saturday, and we pulled that big alternator out of the Blue Beast that was the bearing had gone out in it, and took the phasing unit in the back, because with all our lighting being LED and a lot of our equipment is all low current stuff, the inverter that we have in there is more than enough to run the equipment, so we don't need that. So we got a lot more room under the hood now. But we got a couple things we're going to do with some of the electronics. I've got to get a hold of a down converter that's synthesized. I've got my personal one in there now, but something I can rack mount in there, and then put the DVB-T 70 centimeter station in there, and then I think we're done with the electronics in there. The antenna mast, where it was able to take the dish and go up and down, I got that fixed when they tried to use it the last time at SBMS, and it didn't work. So that's all been fixed and back online. Other than that, nothing else going on. Back to net, WA6SVT.
WA6SVT, KC6JPG. No, very good, Mike. Well, thank you very much for all the work that you're doing on the Blue Beast. That's terrific. And yes, you're right. A lot of our equipment today are just pretty much low current. And with LED technology, definitely have some space now in the hood, and makes it a lot easier to work on the engine. So that's terrific. So thank you, Mike, for all the work that you do. Thank you, Gary, for helping Mike out as well. So we really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to pass it to any station that have any announcements, bulletins or announcements for this evening's net before we go into check-ins. Come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control. All right, let's go right into check-ins now. We're going to start with RF in our Southern California and Nevada section of chapter of the Amateur Television Network. We're going to start with Mount Wilson, and let's any check-ins from Mount Wilson that like to check in with the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. Come in at this time. KC6 JPG Net Control.
KD6NIZ in Arcadia. Not much going on over here. Just kind of hang. Most excitement today regarding you guys.
KD6NIZ, KC6JPG. Well, Ron, I got that. I got your audio. So fantastic. Thank you very much for checking in. And hey, it's all good. So it may not be much happening, but there's always something happening. Always. And we thank you very much for checking in. And of course, we thank your brother, Don, Norm. helping out, with the repeater systems when he was up there on the hill. So you Hill brothers are just awesome. Total awesomeness. Thank you so much for checking in. Anyone else on Mount Wilson that'd like to check in? Come in at this time. KC6JPG, Net Control. All right, we head ourselves over to Snow Peak, serving the Coachella Valley area of Southern California, as well as the upper high desert of Yucca Valley and beyond. So let's check in Earl, KJ6DQR, and Julie, KJ6FYY, Cathedral City. Wonder if there's a Desert Rats meeting going on tonight. Well, we're going to go to Yucca Valley this time, and we're going to check in our buddy Keith, N6GKB. Keith, it's great to see you tonight.
Oh, are we in there? There we are. Yeah, we've been having some monsoons out here on off the next 3 days. And today we had some morning clouds and a little bit of rain. No thunder, no lightning. Day before yesterday, it was all very cloudy. Lots of thunder, lots of lightning, no rain. Right now it went from this morning at 45% humidity. Now it is 22. So and it's clear sky outside. So yep, I guess it's clearing up. Here comes the heat again, I guess. But yeah, it was beautiful. And had a little bit of accident on my tower. The top turnbuckle, the weld on the tower, busted. So the turnbuckle came falling down about 4 feet and stayed there. And of course the top section of the tower came shooting down about 4 feet. And then it got stuck inside the tower. So we got to go play with that this week. Get them all new weld on the tower and turnbuckle put up there. And nothing happened to the cable and the turnbuckle and all that stuff. All that kind of junk up there. But just the weld busted. So we have a very good friend with a good welding system. And so he's going to try to work on it later this week. Other than that, nothing else exciting. And the antennas here are at least working. I'm receiving, well, I can't tell if I'm receiving yet. I still haven't got my digital receiver working. It's still stuck on menu. I don't know how to fix it. I think we discussed this a couple weeks ago. But, oh well. At least I have YouTube, and I got you here on Whereby. And you guys can see me. I can see myself, which looks good. I've seen better pictures, but you never know what's going on out there. But everybody, have a great time. Have a great week. It looks like we're going to have another good week of weather. And well, we don't mind if it gets autumn again. We know summer's coming. Not done, I should say. So, Lotus has been pretty warm. So maybe Julie and Earl melted away. I don't know. It's been still 3 digits down there. We got 98 today. And a nice breeze. Still pushing about 7 miles an hour. 7 to 10. Oh, not bad for summertime. Okay. Yeah. Everybody have a great day.
N6GKB, KC6JPG. Well, very good, Keith. Yeah, you just let me know when you're going to visit your brother over here at Rancho Cucamonga. You can bring your receiver. I have a flash kit, and I can flash the chip that's inside the unit and basically make it to respond again. So, yeah, you just let me know when you're going to be in the neighborhood, and we'll definitely take care of that for you. So far, I've unbricked at least 3 HV110s. So that flash kit has definitely been worth its weight in gold. I had a feeling, because Calvin over at High Des recommended that I should get a flash kit. So, and I'm glad I did. Very good, Keith. Thank you very much for checking in. Looking great, sounding great. Great signal tonight. Anyone else on Snow Peak that'd like to check in with the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net? Come in at this time. KC6JPG, Net Control. Okay, let's go northwest, and we go to Oat Mountain, serving the San Fernando, Santa Clarita, part of Simi Valley, and parts of Ventura County. And let's go ahead and check in Alan, W6IST, Porter Ranch.
Wow, picture looks good, but I don't know whether you're copying me, Roland. But good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing fine. And the conditions, the picture gets real good and then it fades a little bit, so I hope you copy me now. Everyone, I hope you have a real good week. 73 from Porter Ranch here. Back to Net Control, this W6IST.
W6IST, KC6JPG. Well, Alan, without the QRM, for the first, 20 seconds, man, your picture was fantastic. P5, it looked great. And, of course, just that little bit of QRM, you just got into a little bit of the snow, but it did not suffer your audio or your video whatsoever. So, looking great, sounding great. Thank you very much for checking in. Always great seeing you. Very good. Let's go to the west side of Simi Valley, and that's where Bob is at, W6KGE. Bob?
Well, good evening, guys. W6KGE with some interference locally and through the link this evening, but we'll manage. Good to see Alan. There we go. What a pain in the neck. Serious interference, obviously, here on Oak Mountain. I will send it back to you guys, W6KGE.
W6KGE, KC6JPG. Well, Bob, I tell you, the first 5 seconds, man, that was perfect. And, of course, that QRM got in there, and, well, you know. But got all your audio, though. So thank you very much for checking in. Always great seeing you. And thank you for all the work that you do, my friend. I tell you, we really enjoy your videos. They're really well done. Let's go to the let's go to the east side of Simi Valley, and that's where Glenn is at. WA6GMB. Glenn?
I'm going to jump in here real quick for Glenn. Glenn had a little problem a week or so ago, broke a bunch of ribs and hurt his arm. And so he probably won't be on, but prayers for him, and please, guys, prayers would help. He's making it, but it's a challenge. W6KGE.
W6KGE, KC6JPG. Well, yeah, this is the first I've known about this. Thank you very much, Bob, for letting us know. And definitely, you know what I always say, the power of prayer. It changes everything. And let's definitely clasp our hands together, and we'll definitely pray for fast healing and recovery for our ATN brother, and that's our buddy Glenn. So thank you, Bob, for sharing that information. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Anyone else on Oat Mountain? I'd like to check in with the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. Come in at this time. KC6JPG, Net Control.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Alan. Really knocked the link out, didn't it? Good to see you.
Okay, we're gonna turn. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you guys very much. Love those our Oat Mountain crew out there. Excellent. Haven't seen Steve out there lately. I'm just hoping that he's okay. So, Steve, if you're watching, yay, we miss you, my friend. All right, we'll go to Santiago Peak now, and let's go to Costa Mesa, and that's where our buddy Gordon is at. WB6 NOA, Costa Mesa. Let's go to Riverside. That's where Norm is at. KD6 OMV. Norm?
Good evening, this is Norm, KD6OMV, over here in Riverside, and not a lot to add this evening. I'm just glad to see everybody out there, and I'm just stuck for words today. Anyway, it looks like Gordon's trying to check in there between the arcs and the sparks. So I'll go ahead and turn it back to you, Roland, so that Gordon can maybe give it another try. This is Norm, KD6OMV in Riverside. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
KD6OMV, KC6JPG. Norm, thank you so much for checking in tonight. Appreciate it, and always great seeing you. Yes, we're going to try Gordo once again. WB6NOA, Costa Mesa. Gordo, go ahead and try it again, my friend.
Well, we're trying. Hang on. Hang on. Well, anyway, there's a blind hello from Gordo and the gang. No further traffic, a lot of interference. Thanks, Norm, for trying to relay. Gordo and the gang, WB6 NOA.
WB6NOA, KC6JPG. Well, Gordo, your signal was definitely improving as you were at the last part of your transmission. I don't know if you want to try it again or not, but I'll give you another chance because it seemed to be improving. Yeah, the QRM was very strong there for a moment, and then it seemed to be weakening out. Right back to you, KC6JPG, net control.
Yeah, not sure what's happening, but a very good evening to all, and no further traffic. And let me just try one other thing here. And nope, yeah, that's as close as we can. Everybody have a great week at the upcoming convention, and we'll see everybody later. WB6 NOA clear.
WB6NOA, KC6JPG. Well, you're 100% copyable on that last transmission. Just a little bit of video QRM over there, and it looks like it's definitely getting into the sync. But you're definitely a copyable. So thank you very much, Gordo, for checking in with us. Always a pleasure. Thank you. All right, let's go to Running Springs, and that's where our buddy Gary is at, W6 KVC. Gary, good evening. How you doing tonight?
Well, we'll give it a try. We had a celebration of life. Section manager, his name was Carl Gardinas, and Thursday we had celebration of life for Carl. You know, it was a good event. There were a lot of people there. A lot of us were there, Gordo and Susie, myself, a lot of his friends. I don't know. Let me get the picture back here. So I've known Carl for always out at Quartz Fest, and he was also I don't know why we don't have audio. I hear my audio because I muted going out over RF because that's what I'm on. Anyway, for the Family Motor Coach Association, which I'm a member of, we do campouts with our RVs. But anyway, friend, back to you. Nothing else going on except a very sore knee tonight. Good old day.
W6KVC, W6KVC, KC6JPG. Yeah, Gary, you're breaking up pretty badly on the RF side, so I try to switch you over onto Whereby to see if I can just pick you up from there. But yeah, you had your audio muted, so so that's why you didn't hear any audio coming out of the transmission. But it's all good. That's cool about your buddy there. That's awesome. And thank you very much for sharing that. Appreciate it. Thanks, Gary, for checking in with us. All right. Anyone else on Santiago Peak that'd like to check in with the... Actually, let's go to Tom back again because, you know, he did chime in, but now it's time for official check-in. So let's go back to Tom, WB6HYH, KC6JPG. Tom, hello again.
And hello again. Yeah, I was pretty sad to see Carl passed away there. I was hoping to make it, but I couldn't to the celebration there that they had for him. I knew Carl quite a long time myself too, and he was our section director or manager for the southwest section here. Anyways, he was a really good guy. Talked to him quite often, especially at the conventions and stuff. So anyways, he is definitely missed, that's for sure. Let's see. Oh, the other thing, a little bit of interest. My HF antenna, the tower that I have behind the garage, the crank-up tower, last time I cranked it up, it was up for quite a while. I usually don't keep it up that long, but, well, I kept it up the whole time that what's his name? Mike? WA6SVT or VP6MC was down in the South Pacific there, and kept trying to get a hold of him. But so I had it up for quite a while because there was a contest or two before that, and I just left it up the whole time. Well, I think the winds got it tweaked a little bit, and last time I cranked it down, about 5 feet off the ground, it decided to get stuck, and then all of a sudden it let loose and went all the way down to the bottom and bounced, and my antennas bounced up and down along with it. And didn't think too much of it. Thought, okay, they look like they're all in one piece still, so we left it that way. And but then I tried raising and lowering the antenna again, and it worked fine. But just this last week, I noticed that the plate, the rotor plate, that I usually think it's just sitting up there on some brackets from the three corners of the tower, It pretty much potato chipped from the weight of the antenna and everything, and forced it back down the little edges that it sits on, and the mast slid down through the thrust bearing I have up there, which it wasn't tightened down on the thrust bearing very well. It wasn't the type of thrust bearing. It was actually too big for the mast that I was using. So I just had some wedges in around it to keep it centered. But yeah, it's I noticed my antenna. I was out in on my workshop, and I heard some strange sounds coming from the tower. So I went out and checked it out, and sure enough, I see the whole antenna just swinging back and forth about 35, 40 degrees, just blowing in the wind up there, and the rotor turning with it, and the rotor plate underneath it turning back and forth. And so it's all kind of discombobulated there, and going to have to get some antenna work done here to take it apart. I talked to Mike. He came up with a couple of good ideas. I have a Mosley TA33 antenna. The tri-bander I have works great. Oh man, that antenna is from the 60s, I think, and it still works good. I go through pile-ups with no problems with it. But anyways, they do have a conversion kit for it to add, 12 and 17 meters to the beam. And since I think I'm going to take it all apart, take it all down, and put a new thrust bearing in it, one that I can clamp onto the mast really well, and fix it all up, get everything back in good shape up there. I think while I'm at it, I have I'll add the 17 and 12 meter kit to it and make the three band beam into a 5-band beam, and add 2 more bands that I don't have antennas from. I always brag that I have almost every band from 160 up through 2.4 gigs, and I'm missing 4 or 5. But by adding 2 more to the tower or to that beam, I'll have two more that I can cover. So, anyways, I do like 17 meters. That's a good band. I used to use it mobile a lot. It's a really good mobile band. But so that's my role this week of ham radio. Going to have to get up there. I think I'm going to pull all the antennas down, fix everything up. Might even put some new coax up. I've got some coax already, so I might run some new lines up to the antennas, and they've been up there for quite a number of years, so we'll see how everything is and get it all back in good shape, and hopefully it'll last me for the rest of my days. So we'll see how that goes. Anyhow, that's about it from here. Temperature is currently 85 degrees, 56% humidity, and it feels like 88 degrees outside. So it wasn't too terribly bad today. It was a little warm, but we'll see how it progresses here. Let's see, anything else? I guess not. So I think I'm still talking a little close to the mic. We're going to back off a little bit, see if that's any better. And I'm still trying to learn how to operate my ATV station here. Huh, what's that square? I got a square by my head. Huh. Anyhow, we'll check into that. So thanks a lot, guys. Good to see everybody out there. It's always a pleasure. And we'll talk to you all later. This is WB6HYH, Rancho Cucamonga.
WB6HYH, KC6JPG. You know, people sometimes they have black clouds over their head, but you got a square cube over your shoulder. I'm hoping that's good luck. It's probably your switcher. You probably have some white mode that's probably active, and it's probably what that was. So it's all good. Sorry about the potato chip situation, but you're doing great, my friend. I'll tell you, your 2.4 is definitely looking terrific, and certainly glad you're able to go on RF. It's kind of a proud moment to say when you're on 160, 160 meters to all the way up to, 2.4 gig. That's pretty darn cool. So, Tom, once again, thank you very much for all that you do. Thank you very much for serving as president. It is a lot of fun. Speaking for a guy who runs a car club, sometimes it has its challenges, but you know what? Most of the time we just have a ball and have a blast. And that's what it's all about, getting everyone together here every week and having a great time. That's what it's all about. Thanks again, Tom. Appreciate it. All right, anyone else on Santiago Peak that'd like to check in with the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net? Come in at this time. KC6JPG, Net Control. Very good. Let's go to Job's Peak this time, serving the Upper Desert as well as the San Bernardino and Riverside County areas of the lower area of the lower basin. Anyone on Job's Peak that'd like to check in, come in at this time. KC6JPG, Net Control. All right. Anyone else on that'd like to check in on the RF side of things before we go into Nevada? Come in at this time. KC6JPG, Net Control. All right, we go to our chapter stations, and we're going to go to Nevada first this time, and we're going to check in Las Vegas, and that's where our buddy Dennis is at, KA7HQP. Dennis, great to see you tonight, my friend. How's everything for you tonight?
Good evening, everybody. It's turned out to be, 105 degrees in Vegas today. Not bad. Humidity at 19%. Horrible for Vegas. Yeah, we cry when it... We like the dry heat, but humidity is not our friend. Sunday I left the Whereby Net pretty fast, and I had a cat in distress. And the thing is, we had to take this cat to the vet, and we did locate a vet that it's interesting. It's an ER vet, and the thing is, they're not open during the day. They're only open from 6 p.m. till 8 in the morning. And the thing is, when you take a cat to an ER vet, you will pay ER prices. I think I spent $3,000 that night, and picked the cat up Monday morning at 8 in the morning. But she's doing well. She's doing good, and she's eating, and she's only about 16, 17 years old. And we usually get about 19, anywhere from 17 to 19 years out of our cats. So we usually get our money's worth, and it's just that they're both getting up there. I hate to see old hams disappear as well. These silent keys, it's like all my old Elmers. You just have to cherish the memories you have from them, and it's just, we meet some really nice people and some really smart people in our travels. And I think that's the benefit of this hobby, is we do meet up with some really neat people. None of us are here forever. We all have expiration dates, and just cherish the people that you have, and spend time with them while you can, and share the knowledge. That's about all I can say. That's all I got from Vegas. You guys have a good evening. This is KA7HQP.
KA7HQP, KC6JPG. Dennis, you hit it right on the head. You nailed it right there. And there's something about when you go outside of your, the social media aspects of things on the commercial internet, and away from just kind of like the general public, and you're into this ham radio fraternity. And you share knowledge, you share experiences, you share our times together on nets, and especially here with sharing video, because guess what? Now we get into a whole personal thing when it comes to amateur television. And you're exactly right. You develop a relationship, you develop friendship, kinship, and when you see these people pass, you just like you said, you cherish the memories, and that's what it's all about. You definitely cherish the memories and the experiences that you share with them. They shared you, and you shared them. It's a two-way street, because you know what? We're human. We don't know everything, and I know a lot about broadcast, but boy, when I met Mike, WA6SVT, I'll tell you, he really helped me a lot in advancing not just my own career, but just my own personal knowledge about electronics, about everything from detectors to what to look for. So, and I appreciate you all, and that's what it's all about, is just sharing the memories. And that's why we're recording these nets, because I got recordings from way back into the into the 90s and into the early 2000s. And you know what? I think what we should do is probably at the end of the year is kind of do a in memoriam montage with the people that we lost. So, and it's just very, very special memories. Well, Dennis, thank you so much for coming in and checking in with us. I'll tell you, not only you made a huge contribution here with ham radio, but a huge contribution with commercial broadcast. We really appreciate all of your knowledge, my friend. Thank you so much. We're going back east this time, and that's where our buddy Steven is at, KC1LPZ, over there in Massachusetts. Steven, it's great to see you tonight, my friend. Good evening.
Good evening, Roland, and good evening to everyone on the net. It's funny. I had got on, email or Microsoft, some old memories of a former boss that passed away, and it was kind of interesting looking at some of the places that we had traveled to and all that. But on another note, today I finally was successful in opening up a custodial account for my fourth grandchild. So finally, I'm able to fund that. And if the market is down tomorrow, I'll be doing some purchasing. If not, I will wait until we're ready to help him get a portfolio when he gets older. This is the 9-month-old, Sebastian. Anyway, that's about it. So we got both, the people that we cherish and the new generation going to replace us all. KC1, LPZ, back over to the net.
KC1LPZ, KC6JPG. Stephen, your family tree is very, very strong, and I am so proud of you, of what you're doing, because you are definitely feeding the family legacy. And we're just so proud of you for doing that, because you're just basically, basically providing the family's future, and everyone else is just going to help out too. And you are the big seed of that, and you are a rock star. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for telling you about your boss, about your like I said, today's bosses are not just bosses anymore. They become like Elmers. You learn from them as well, and you travel together. You experience how to do what to do regarding business and etiquette. Same thing with ham radio etiquette. So it's all a two-way street, and I'll tell you, that's when it's developing relationships. That's what it's all about. I'm very blessed because not only that I serve in the family business, but I also work at a fitness company. And the people that, my bosses basically we're not bosses. They're servant leaders. And, they call me up and they go, Ron, can you sub a cycling class? Can you do this? I said, I certainly can. And they actually come in and take my class. And they have a great time. And, oh, man, it's great. It's a lot of fun. You're right. Sharing the experiences. That's just rocket. That just rocks it. Stephen, thank you very, very much for coming in, my friend, and checking in with us once again. You are always a super rock star, and big thumbs up to all your grandkids. Congratulations on that. Well done. All right, let's go over to New York. You got it. And that's where our ATN bouncer is residing at. And that's our buddy Manuel, N2MJF. Manuel, always a pleasure to see you.
Yep, live from New York City. They call it the Big Apple. Wait a minute. Yeah, they call it the Big Apple. I call it the Big Straight Jacket. Over here it's kind of sweaty, clammy, disgusting. I'm looking at the news. It's 11, 17, it's 75, and 70% humidity. Same old mess, you know. Not that much crime. It's getting relaxed here. But I can't believe summer's almost gone. I give it back to you, Roland. And yes, I like looking at when they don't have their license.
Very good, Manuel. I love that look. I always do. N2MJFKC6JPG. Terrific, my friend. Thank you so much for chiming in tonight and checking in with us. You're always a rock star. Okay, going to our Florida chapter. That's where Wolf is at. KV4 ATV. Wolf, my friend, I understand that Arden is definitely giving you a wonderful, wonderful time, and I'm loving that, and I'm going to pass it over to you. KC6JPG, Net Control.
Good evening, Rolly, and good evening to the group. As you see, it's got something strange for a microphone and a headphone tonight. Looks like I want an old-fashioned telephone plugged into my computer, haha. So anyway, this thing works on my computer. Also works on my cell phone. I get some strange looks when I have this up to my ear driving down the road. And they say, how in the world has he got an old-fashioned telephone in the car driving around? So I guess it's you can see what I'm using here. Anyhow, something I picked up from a friend of mine who's a ham, and we got Ron in here tonight. He's been working on some stuff, but we've been having some pretty detrimental weather and stuff. Right now we got 89 degrees, 78 temperature, 89 humidity. So those people that are complaining over in Nevada and stuff about having humidity up at 20, why don't you come down here to Panama City, Florida? At nighttime and stuff, we're having 99 to 100% humidity, and we have heat indexes somewhere around 90 to 100 degrees at night at 5 o'clock in the morning. We've been having some pretty bad weather stuff running through, but our Arden Mesh, we're linked in pretty good now. We're rolling with, let's see, what is that? Here in Florida, good grief, it's over by Jacksonville, so Lake City, W2TTT. I'm tunneled in over there with him. He's got nodes all the way up by Manuel's place up the East Coast. So we've got between that and Warner Robins, Georgia, who is also linked in and got nodes and stuff hooked up into Tennessee and Kentucky. You know, we probably got, about 1,600 total in the network down here, and we're expanding. Now we're going down into the South Florida. We're on the Florida Mesh Chat. So I'm into that group. I've got my own room and my own island set up now. Got a new Arden Mesh station coming in. He's not in here tonight because he's going on vacation, and that would be Tim, K4WGE, but he just got his Microtech in, and as soon as he gets back off his vacation, I guess I will attempt to help him get that thing programmed and set up, and I'm going to need a little bit of assistance from you, Roland, to be able for me to set up a server and stuff so that if he cannot get direct link with me because he hadn't have an antenna yet, he can at least tunnel in over to me and I can connect him out to the rest of the system. So anyway, we're working on that. National Weather Service, Miami Hurricane Center has had me kind of busy. We've got one thing out on the Gulf. We're not really worried about it. So over off the Texas coast, moving westbound. We got one coming off of the coast of Africa, one over there by Cape Verde and stuff. But we got 0 to 30% chance of stuff west, northwest and stuff. So between that, the satellite, the Hurricane Center, and everything else, and the NWS offices around, meteorology has had me kind of hopping over here, rolling family. you know, I had a little bit of problem Saturday when I went to pick your slab up from work. Got about 2/3 of the way home, and the Suburban acted like it was giving out of gas, and it finally quit. And I jumped on the phone. Ron, KK4YCE, come over and picked up my wife and my teenage son, got them back to the house. He left his son there with me, and I called another friend of mine. He came over and grabbed the Suburban with a quick hook wrecker, got it back to the house, and after a day or two of troubleshooting, come to find out that the main computer under the hood had gone kaput and burnt out. So we should have another programmed computer in probably Thursday, if my wife's calculations are right. So about Thursday, we should have the other computer in, and by Thursday night, Friday morning, I should have the Suburban back up underway and running. And Mike, by the way, that may straighten out that blend door problem, because that is also controlled by the computer, PCM, ECM, and BCM. So I'm just going to sit back and wait before I tear the whole console of that thing and put that new actuator in that thing, because it gets real tiring having to switch it off when you're put it neutral when you're going down the highway, turn the key off, and have to fight manual steering and then crank it back up just to get cold air on the driver's side of the vehicle down here when it's pretty hot. You know, you got 89 to 102 degree, 98 to 102 degree temperatures, and your heat index is like 130, and you get the 210 degree temperature out of the heater pouring right on top of you. It gets real miserable. So, you know, I'm hoping that computer's going to straighten this thing out. So, anyway, Thursday I'll go out there and slap that thing in tight, the 2 7mm bolts, and fire it back up, and let's see what happens. At least I will have transportation back up, because otherwise, Roland, I've been sitting over here at the house, and it's too doggone hot at my age and my condition for me to walk anywhere. So that's about where we're at. Anyway, that's got you kind of updated from the Florida chapter over here. So I'll turn it back over to you, KV4 ATV, Panama City, Bay County, Skywarn.
Yeah, KV4ATV, KC6JPG. No, very good, Wolf. You've been very, very busy. Congratulations on getting on Arden via basically phone server. Congratulations on that. Sounds like you're using Asterisk and on your GrandStream phone there. So congratulations. You're taking Arden by storm, and like I said, welcome to the alternative network. Totally cool. Very cool. All right, thank you very much for checking in. Continuing on with our Florida chapter, and that's where Ron is at, KK4YZE, also in Panama City. Ron, great to see you tonight, my friend, and we salute you.
Good evening, gentlemen. Like Wolf said, it's been a very week and weekend with a little bit of rain to be doing some dancing up there in the sky. As Wolf was saying, I've been busy with my house. Friday, we had a phone call from the city saying that they're finally going to work on my house. Yay. It's only taken 5 years, 4.5, almost 5 years. So the ironic thing is that we have to have the house cleaned out by 9/11. That ring a bell? So they want to start working on 9/12, so everything has to be done by 9/11, so they can come in and get it. So we have a lot of work to do. Of course, my house has gotten worse since I haven't been in it for 3 months. So I have to be in and out a little bit at a time. Doctors are saying that every time it seems like I'm going in, my lungs are getting worse. So I just had them tested the last 2 weeks. So other than that, we're staying busy, trying to stay alive in this heat, and Wolf keeps us going on the Weather Channel, and keep in contact with the weather folks in Tallahassee. So hopefully when we get started with the house, we'll get the house wired up for net stuff, and we'll be able to entertain more stuff in the house. Hopefully it'll only take a couple of months, and we'll have a nice rig at my house. With that, I bid you all adieu. KK4YZE. Have a great week.
KK4YZE, KC6JPG. Well, Ron, thank you very, very much. Congratulations on getting your house pretty much back together. That's terrific. 9/11. That's definitely something to write down on your calendar, bud. The day of moving out. Very good. Well, all the best to you, and it's going to be terrific. And yeah, you're saying about for what 5-6 years ago. You're right. You had a disaster that happened in your area, and I gotta play this team. But this is what happened last week over in Lahaina, over in the island of Maui, and the pictures are just like you can't believe it until you experience it. And check this out, team. This is what was happening last week at this time, where basically 20 minutes wipes out almost the entire town of Lahaina in Maui. Very, 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 very scary situation. And of course, ham radio is definitely playing a big part in part of the emergency operations. And so you pretty much got the entire island chain, communicating. And so they're shadowing law enforcement and fire protection. And from what I understand, there's so far 99 people that have passed from this fire. Still hundreds are missing, and thousands are just evacuated, or their homes are completely perished down. So for those that have suffered major disaster, we definitely pray for you always, and towards rebuilding, definitely. And of course, we definitely pray for those, in Maui, not just, for the people that have been dislocated, but for the families that have lives perished within their families. And we definitely, pray to them always for safety and for recovery efforts. And we thank you very much for Ham Radio for what they do. All right. Well, like I said, Ron, thank you very much for your service, and thank you very much for what you do. All right. We continue on, and we are now go to Arizona this time. And, well, Rod was out here. Where did he go? Arizona gone. Well, let's do this. Let's go to Northern California, and that's because that's where Jim is at. He is the Grand Poobah of the Mount Diablo Amateur Radio Club. K6SOE, and look at that. He's got his call sign on his wall and everything, and we're going to pass it over to Jim. KC6JPG, Net Control. Jim, good evening, my friend.
All right. Good evening, Roland and Nanette. Glad to be here. Glad to participate, and everyone's looking good tonight. Videos are good. Audio's good. I have to say I've got a cat across the room here. It's lounging severely, but I think he might be able to survive. So, oh, now he's standing up, so I guess that's a good thing. So, anyway, what's new with ham radio around here? Not too much. Still getting the shack together, and just waiting for bigger and better things to happen. So I'll send it back to you, Roland. That this is K6SOE, Jim stuck in the bird.
K6SOE, KC6JPG. Your shack is it's looking terrific. Graphics too. Great job, my friend. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you very much for all that you do. And don't forget, tune in on Jim's Net each and every Thursday evening, 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, during Daylight Savings Hours, of course. And don't forget Sunday, 9 o'clock a.m., and that's where Jim also leads the Bathrobe Net each and every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Saturday or Sunday? Sunday. You got it.
Sunday.
You got it. Sunday for the Bathrobe Net at 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific Daylight Time as well. That's a fun time, too. Any net is a fun time. You got it. Jim, thanks for checking in with us. You're a rock star. Now we go to Arizona, and that's for our net control for the Arizona chapter, that's where Lee is at. K0CCU. Lee, good evening, my friend. How you doing tonight?
Good evening, KC6JPG and the net. Good to see everybody. You probably can't tell it, but if you look real close, I'm wet. I just came in. It's raining outside right now. First rain we've seen forever, I think. And so it started raining on the way home, and it's raining right now, but not too much right now. But it was enough that I had to get wet to come in the house. And now that means it's a good rain if you got wet. And happy to see that. So good to see everybody on here. I see BP6MC, but I don't see him. I just see the inside of KCAL. And good to see everybody on here, though. It's nice. I see Wolf down there. I heard Wolf last night, but I didn't get back to him. And then he didn't come back on the net there later on. So anyway, that's about all I got from here. I'm winded. Wherever I left, I needed to use the restroom, and the door was locked to get back in, so I had to wait till I got home. So I did that first before coming up on the air here. Anyway, too much information. So anyway, good evening, everybody, and nice to see you all. Back to you, Roland. KC6JPG, K0CCU Lee in Glendale, Arizona. Wet but happy.
K0CCU, KC6JPG. Wet and happy. That's the best way to be. There you go, my friend. Especially coming out of a monsoon weather storm. Very good, Lee. Always great seeing you. Great to talk with you during the DMR net. Even though that, yes, I did come in at 8:04, just because I taught my class and talked with my supervisor for a little bit, and of course by the time I got changed and got to my car, it was 8:04. So got to adjust my timing on that one. But appreciate you coming out, and Wolf, thank you for coming out on DMR as well on last night as well. So thank you very, very much for that. All right. Well, those are the check-ins that I have at any late member, missed members, any visitors on the RF side that like to check in with the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. Come in at this time. KC6 JPG Net Control. All right, we got Don Wilbanks tonight, AE5DW, for this week's edition of Amateur Radio Newsline.
From Amateur Radio Newsline Report, number 2389, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. There's DX, there's Rare DX, and then there's this. 2 degrees of separation stood between NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft and its ability to communicate with the Earth due to a faulty command in July that changed the critical orientation of its antenna. But now that's been fixed from a distance of more than 12 billion miles.
It was a long shot, as long as the stretch of 12 billion miles. But NASA's Deep Space Network sent a command from its highest powered transmitter in Canberra, Australia, in an attempt to correct the 2-degree shift of the antenna that had knocked the space probe out of contact with the Earth last month. Their attempt worked. The space agency took a literal shot in the dark on Wednesday, August 2nd, but believed it was essential to reestablish communications with the probe, which was launched into interstellar space 46 years ago. The command traveled the distance, taking more than 18 hours to deliver its message. In another 18.5 hours after that, NASA was celebrating its success. NASA compared the transmission to an interstellar shout, one that worked. The agency said in an update afterward that Voyager 2 had returned to normal operation, sending science and telemetry data as before. It is expected to remain on its intended trajectory. This is Kent Peterson, KC0 DGY.
Hurricane season is still going strong in parts of the United States, and so is the need for control operators for the Hurricane WatchNet.
As the Atlantic hurricane season enters its second month, Bobby Graves, KB5HAV, manager of the Hurricane WatchNet, is sending out a CQ for new net control operators. These operators are critical to the mission of providing ground truth weather reports for the National Hurricane Center in Miami. Bobby said he is especially looking for bilingual operators who are fluent in Spanish and English or French Creole and English, as many of the areas threatened by hurricanes speak those languages. Net control stations don't need to live in a hurricane-endangered area. In fact, given propagation and safety, it is beneficial to live farther away. As Bobby told AR Newsline, the heritage of the Hurricane WatchNet is built upon service during extreme conditions. We are looking for men and women who can operate in a professional manner and accept the challenges emergency services personnel face every day, specifically with long hours and unpredictable schedules. Interested amateur radio operators can find out more at hwn.org. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
The Radio Society of Great Britain isn't changing the location's name to the National Radio and Amateur TV Center, but yes, visitors are seeing some very visible changes, and a television screen in a new permanent display there.
Amateur Radio TV has become the newest attraction at the National Radio Centre in Bletchley Park, where visitors can interact with a touchscreen and select signals to be received from the geostationary satellite QO100. The signals are being transmitted from the wideband segment. The television configuration was created with the help of the British Amateur Television Club, and it allows visitors to see the signals decoded and displayed on a large monitor. The satellite's wideband transponder has downlinks between 10491 MHz and 10498 MHz and uses horizontal polarization. The exhibit is part of a permanent display at the Radio Centre. The RSGB credits Justin, G8YTZ, with its design and for assisting the BATV Club with the configuration. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, Randy Sly, W4XJ, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.
And thank you very, very much, Don, for this week's edition of Amateur Radio Newsline. We really appreciate you. Fantastic report. And there you go, Wolf. Time to write that down. They're looking for you for the Hurricane WatchNet. Sounds good. All right. Don't forget that coming up on August 25th, that's going to be the big party of them all, and that's going to be the DATV QSO party. And the party starts at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Yes, come one, come all. You know, all amateurs and, of course, UATV operators out there. Time to have a fun time. And we're going to have a great time with Peter Cousins and the gang over there in Australia, as the Australia Amateur Radio Society is going to host the annual DATV QSO party. All right. Any other comments, questions before? Oh, hey, you know who's here? I'm going to tell you who's here. It's Joel, KD6W, out there in Tucson. Joel, what's happening, my friend? How you doing?
Sorry, I'm a little late. Been running around. I got a clean bill of health from the doctor, so I'm really happy about that. But just had my checkup. So we have no real news to report. I did find a way to show that picture. Hold on. I'm going to switch to my computer. Give me a second. I had the picture on my phone, and I'm like, oh, Google Photos. Just go Google Photos. So this was the rain we got the other day. Photos. I can't spell. Sorry for the last minute thing here. I'm going to switch as soon as I get into my go to Google Photos. Yes, that's what I said.
I love how we talk to our computers, because you know why? Because we talk to it and then we, work our magic, and they have a different mindset. Welcome to AI.
I'm going to come in on the other computer. Stand by here.
We love it, Joel. We love it.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Loud and clear, my friend. Loud and clear. Come on in.
Okay, here we go. You're going to love this.
You know what? That actually looks like snow, but I figured it's like
It's really,
giant
really, really,
raindrops.
really big raindrops.
That's wild. That's
There you
wild.
go. So that's what it was like for about 20 minutes solid. And so that was the weather we got the other day. But, we've seen this before, haven't we? If you've lived in Florida or whatever, it comes in buckets. It's one of those things. But otherwise, it was a gorgeous day today.
And mute the RF or something on that. You got double echo. There you go.
There we go. Sorry about that. Making everybody's head go round and round and round. So the weather was gorgeous again today. Unfortunately, we stepped into 100 again. So basically, we're not out of the hot, but it wasn't like 115 or anything like that. But it's got up to 101 today. But right now it's 92 degrees. So we didn't get any precipitation, but accumulative since January, we've had 2.93 inches. So we're actually doing pretty good, and we're only like partway through the monsoon season. I was just in the other room because I finally found my Metcal and my other soldering irons and stuff. So I finally got to the box, and of course, what did I find? My license plate from California. Anyway, it's right where I left it. But so that gives me my my bench kind of back together again. So I was looking for some of that because I'm doing repairs on these C-band receivers, and I ordered another one online for the parts. Hopefully the power supply module is good, that kind of thing, because the power supply went out on one of them. So the whole objective to this is to get receivers that are 905 capable. And so we're not caught up to that yet, but that's the plan, I guess, at some point, is to get a couple of receivers. And so this is a heads up to the other repeater sites. If I can get the config documented and do the integration with the 905, then we'll post something somewhere and send it out to the group so any of the ATN sites can follow my my plans, the notes, whatever. So that way we have a way to address. In fact, I'm going to be heading to California for the 10 gig contest. There's like 2 905s in the contest that I know of already this year. So it's somebody went out and spent the big bucks, and they're going to go on chasing QSOs and grid squares in the 10 gig contest. So looking forward to see how that turns out for them. Hopefully it works out well. Anyway, that's all from Tucson. Back to you, Roland. KC6JPG, KD6W. Joel in Tucson.
And KD6W, KC6JPG, and Gary, thank you very much for reminding me, because I must have double hit the the switch when Joel went from his phone to his computer. Oops! So it's all good. Joel, thank you very much for sharing that video. Holy smokes! I mean, we're talking about big drops that hurt your head when it hits your head. Those were big drops, and the very best to you for the 10 gig contest. And I'll tell you, those 905s are just, they're being bought. And not only that our own ATV group is, buying these things, but I'm hearing from SBMS that several of their members have purchased 905s for the upcoming contest. When you think about $3,500 plus the $1,000 for the transverter, the 10 gig transverter, I'm definitely giving my thumbs up, and I'm hoping that they're gonna have a blast. Very simple operation. Just hook up a feed horn or a 10 gig dish, basically. Have a lot of fun, definitely.
So you don't have to spend $4,500 if you really wanted to get into 10 gig. Those Kuni modules that I showed you, there's the G4 version that just came out. And so if you go to Kuni, it's a German website, and Kuni's got all the transverters. I think most of the people that have put these, kit radios together, like what I have behind me, that's been the go-to for some time. But there's others out there. They're not the only one. But the Kuni's kind of like the largest, most reputable one that sells most of the transverters. And SBMS guys have also, over the years, have contributed some of their own. The 50 megahertz and up guys, where I came from, they've had some modules over the years, so forth. But so basically, the community has been built on those modules for a long time. And that's what's basically started this kind of emergence. And it was only a matter of time, I guess you could say, before ICOM, or, we were crossing our fingers for anybody to enter that market. But so good for ICOM, their pioneering spirit and all that good stuff. But I don't know how much longer it's going to take for the other guys to figure it out, kind of thing. We'll see. Yaesu, I think, is, or Linco is potential of another microwave rig. But so the 905, even without the 10 gig module, is a natural for the SBMS contest, because it's all focused on 1.2 and 2.4, 3 gig, 5 gig, except everything below 10 gig, essentially is where SBMS, created the and so what I'm hoping is that, like you and other people, if you don't get in, if the 905 seems expensive to you, and for a lot of people it may be, it sure is, it's not cheap, but these other modules are out there. So you understand, we didn't start with ICOMs. We've been doing this with those varactor diodes for many, many years. So this goes way back into like the 80s, where you have those the doors that open at Safeway. There's a little radar module up there. That's a little 10 gig X-band module. So Wolf knows these things have been around for so long. Well, that's how it all got started, was the cheap, easy to get, reliable. That was the thing with 10 gig back then. The rigs used to drift a lot more. Well, now we lock them with tolerances and stuff like that. So it's much, much more fun, instead of chasing them up and down the dial, trying to figure out where they went, kind of thing. So now with the 705, you get the waterfall. It's an instant fish finder. It's like a no-brainer for working the microwave bands. And people know, if you've ever worked in microwave contests, you know what I'm talking about. First, you got to point in the right direction. Then you got to be on the right frequency, and you got to make certain their radio is working on the other side. So anyway, enough of me yakking. Good to see everybody on the net tonight. Lee and Gary. There you go. That's where we all got started, was those little things. So if they're still around, they're great for FM, by the way. They're excellent FM rigs. And the interesting thing about FM is you can work stations through rain clouds on FM. I've done it before. It is amazing how it just punches through when the rain clouds are between you and wherever you're trying to work. So guys down in Florida, yeah, that's how you get your long distance, is bouncing it off the clouds. It's like, yeah, okay, we know your little secret. We know what you've been up to. Anyway, back to net. Roland, KC6JPG, KD6W.
KD6W, KC6JPG. Well, Joel, you're exactly right. Prior to, ICOM's breakthrough, it's been, piecemealing and homebrew and all that stuff that made it a lot of fun for those that like to be technical, just like us. Like ATV, same thing, homebrew and piecemeal, and you have to get an exciter, you get a modulator, and you get an amplifier, and then you basically piecemeal it. And now with ICOM's breakthrough, now pretty much anyone who has the funds basically can get onto these special SHS frequencies. And like I said, you're just now being, more hams are now going to be getting more and more into the SHF frequencies. And exactly, Joel, exactly. They're going to be participating. They're going to be in SVMS. They're going to be in other microwave groups and just having a lot of fun. And just like I said, whether it be the 2 gig contest, 10 gig contest, ATV on the gigahertz, you're going to have it's a lot of fun. It certainly is. Joel, thank you very much for chiming in, my friend. You are a rock star there in Arizona, and we appreciate all the work you have done in the broadcast industry as well as in ham radio. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much. All right, well, guess what? My buddy from KHSC days, yes, Gary, AA6GJ, has now in the house, and he's watching ATV on his monitor and watching directly RF, and I'm going to check in with him. So, Gary, it's great to see you, my friend. How's it going tonight?
It's going great. I guess you can hear me.
Loud and clear. Q5, my friend.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's just been a crazy day today, and thanks to Gary. Gary's going to come down on Thursday, and we're going to try and figure out what I'm doing wrong here with this FM device. But so yeah, I got a great receive signal. I just have to get a transmit signal now. So we'll see how it goes. Everything else is fine. It's been crazy here. Got classes to teach next week, and class tomorrow night on Zoom. So it's just keeping me busy, keeping me crazy. So that's about it. Then I'm going to give it back to you. This is Gary, AA6GJ, Rancho Cucamonga.
AA6GJ, KC6JPG. Well, very good, Gary. Well, sounds like our buddy Gary, W6KVC, was definitely going to be helping you out and getting you on the air. That will be absolutely awesome. And, of course, Gary, I'm going to be here this weekend. If you need my help, just call me. We can gang up on him. Sounds great. Thanks again for checking in with us. That's wonderful. All right. Well,
and I'll be here too.
Have it. And so any late members, missed members, any visitors, any last minute comments before we close the formal portion of our amateur television net and before we go into our AfterNet roundtable. KC6JPG, Net Control. Well, I thank you once again, everyone, for participating with us for the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. We now close the formal portion of our net, and we thank each and every one of you that checked in with us tonight. That was a lot of fun. Very, very good. All right, we go to the Afternet. This is our Whereby Roundtable, whereby.com/ATN1. Join the party, join the fun, and, of course, yes, Manuel will make sure that you are absolutely fun, because if you are not, guess what? He will bounce you. Right there, Manuel. The look of the look of the look. You got it. Well, very good. All right. And at 8:55 local time here, Pacific Daylight Time, the Amateur Television Network's official formal portion of our net is now officially closed. We now go to the after party Whereby Roundtable. And repeaters are now returned for their normal use. Take care, everyone. We will see you on Thursday for the Mount Diablo net, and we'll see you also on Sunday for the Arizona chapter Amateur Television Network's weekly net as well. I'm Roland, KC6JPG, saying 73s to you and yours. KC6JPG. Repeaters are now returned for normal use, and we are clear. Thank you.